Welcome to another Unreal Tips and Tricks. Creating realistic glass materials can be a challenge. However, Unreal provides great material tools that make the job easier. I'm going to show you quickly how to create two common effects for glass surfaces: frosted glass and tinted glass. To get started, we're going to need a new material, so I'm going to go ahead and create one here in my content browser. We'll name the material M_glass and double-click it to open it. Our first step is to change the blend mode to translucent for a glass material. Next, we'll need to specify the base color using a vector 3. Leave the base color black. Rather than use the opacity input of the root material, we're going to use the emissive color input. This technique will allow the reflection to be consistently bright. We're going to need the scene color node, and we'll also need a new vector 3 to represent the tint color of our glass. Convert the vector 3 to a parameter, and let's call it edge tint color. We need to multiply the scene color and the tint color together. Let's also add an intensity control. We'll need a constant parameter, which we'll call edge opacity. Let's get the inverted result using a 1- node, then we can multiply the two groups together. After that, we need to plug it all into the emissive color and save. Be sure to apply our new material to the tabletop. You can see that our tinted glass covers the entire top, but we want to make it so that it only affects the edges. For that, we'll use vertex painting. Go to the Paint tab in the Modes panel and set the color view mode to RGB channels. The table should look all black. With a small brush, paint the vertices along the edges of the table. You'll need good chamfered edges in order for this to work right. When you're finished, reset the view mode to off. And let's jump back into the glass material. In order to control where the tinting occurs, we're going to use a vertex color expression. We simply need to multiply the expression's output by our tinting graph. Then, plug that into the emissive color input. After saving, we can see that we're getting a lot closer. The edges of the tabletop are now tinted green and translucent. However, the top and bottom are solid black. Let's fix that now. Draw a box around the entire tinting graph and copy and paste it. Rename the new color parameter to top tint color and set it to white. We'll also rename the opacity parameter to top opacity. In this case, we need to get access to the top and bottom vertices and not the edges. So we'll need to use a 1- expression to invert the vertex color output before plugging that into the multiply node. Finally, we need to add the two tinting groups together. Then, plug the add expression into the emissive input. Save it and let's have a look. Now the green tinting is only found on the edges, while the top and bottom are clear. But it's time to improve the quality of our glass now. To do that, select the root material node or select a blank spot in the graph and scroll down on the Details panel to the Translucency section. From here, we need to change the lighting mode to Surface Forward Shading at the bottom of the dropdown. This is the highest quality version of translucency that Unreal offers, but keep in mind that it is also the most expensive to render. This should give us access to the roughness input on the master material now. Let's add a constant parameter to roughness and leave it at a value of 0. We'll call the parameter roughness. Let's also set the material to a two-sided material on the Details panel. This will allow us to see the edge tint color from both sides of the glass. Save your progress, and let's give our new tinted glass material a whirl. Next up, we'll look at how to use the spiral blur node in the material editor to create a frosted glass effect on our tabletop.